earlier known as Craving Wealth. So I changed my YouTube channel name, atoeps, and the full form is that all types of educational problem solution, and it's also known as academy, tutorial, and mentoring or mentorship, spoken English and Hindi. You can learn from this channel the basic to advanced level for especially beginners. It's really helpful that it's already enough to learn how to speak in English and Hindi and the right pronunciation, the correct pronunciation, action, American action or the British action, whichever you like. So you can learn that. So for this time, we're going to watch and learn and discuss about for any aspirants, those who are giving or planning to give competitive examinations like Staff Selection Commission, Union Public Service Commission, and IBPS, and Bank PO, Probationary Officer, CAM, Clerical Grade, and State Level Public Service Commission, and state. We have 28 states and 8 UT Union Territories, and public sector undertakings and private sector undertakings, as you all knew that. So those who are planning to give to appear for this kind of examinations, it's a must to watch this video till the end, and you must be well versed and thorough glimpse and context, mostly asked questions. Everything is included in this video. So please do follow this YouTube channel, my YouTube channel regularly, and I'm gonna highlight especially for examinations like the Hindu newspaper, and Indian Express, and Economic Times also. I'm going to mention and highlight in a very simple, basic way for all you to understand that, right? So we're gonna move on to a deeper level, and we're gonna discuss everything, any topics, and if you have any queries or any subjects or any opinions or willing to converse with me, or if you have any doubts regarding the topics which we gonna discuss, then you can ask me if you relate to. I'm gonna provide you that's my mail address, right? Okay, let's move on. Here, promoting compassion, at the same time empowering consumers, and here I put in the short form CCLGCCTO. So it might be a strange word for most of you, CCL, and CTO. I put that it is essential to preserve the fair competition in India, and it's really the recent enforcement measures highlight its dedication in doing so, and the purpose of this why I'm highlighting these topics is that to analyze the role of the CCI to ensure that the fair competition in India, and this article gonna examine the legal framework for competition law in India, right? And the powers and functions of the CCI, which I'm gonna tell you that the full form later on. So please be patient that its role in preventing anti-competitive practices like multi-practices, there are many wrong practices or multi-practices. So to ensure that there is fair enough competitive examinations. So right now I'm not going to use that tablet for writing. So you can understand that I'm going to give a brief type, right? Let's continue that and promoting compassion, the same time empowering consumers and the marketplace. As we mentioned that each analyzed that landmark the Korean legal framework for fair competition in India, whether you are rich or whether you are very poor from background itself. So you have the same chance, same equality to be at reach at the top level and to stay alert all the time, and you have the right to complain your rights, your personal rights, right? Identify the alchemy in and provide suggestions to overcome those limitations, and the things which I highlight concludes with a summary of the key findings and the final thoughts on the role of CCI in promoting fair competition in India. So the main objective and the basic objective is that to promote fair competition in India. It's like game change, game changing contribution to the marketplace, as it's written here. I wish and hope that we are very clear about it. So the main aim and the main objective is that promoting the fair competition in India in case of examinations like UPSC, SSC, or any banking examinations like BankPO and IBPS and lower grade, Group B, Group C, Group D, like MTS multitasking stuff, which I already pointed out and which we already discussed earlier that So the main objective is that providing a fair enough and an equal enough competition to be in practice and to enhance that the individual aspect in regards that, right? Let's move on to the next topic. Here we can discuss about Competition Amendment Act 2023 lies, power, penalties, and perplexity and proposal. So for name itself, I hope that we grasp some knowledge regarding this Competition Amendment Act, which introduced in 2023. Right now we are spending a year that 2023. Here it briefly analyzed the provisions of the Competition Act. So before also I mentioned that the main objective was that to promote fair competition and equality in participation regarding the competition level. So here too the same in extent. Here the Competition Act 2002 and its implies or its impact that the penalty and the traces the jurisprudence of antitrust penalties as developed by the Indian competition authorities. It further comprehends the changes recently proposed by the Competition Amendment Act, which introduced in this year itself, 2023, and they call 2023 and its amendment. Amendment is like adding or amend to set it right, to modify the existing procedure and examines its implications on the competition law enforcement in the future. I hope that we can move on. Achieving in market dynamics through. Here I just put dot 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 dot. So there are something else we need to discuss about this. Or we may also call this that achieving excellence in market dynamics through competition, right? As you all know that the Parliament of India passed the Competition Act in 2002 on January 13, 2003, and which repealed that the Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Act 1916 for economic students or for those who had background of commerce or economics. So it's completely related and there's no harsh words and difficult words, and it's a tool to execute and uphold the compassion policy which they already implied and which they are introducing in this time. And the main objective and the main purpose is similar as earlier, that to prevent and punish anti-competitive business practice. It's wrong practice. It's those who practice unfair means, unfair advantage, or like political influence through that getting jobs and all. So it's called unfair practice and unfair advantage. It's tried to abolish completely through the reveal and the monopolies and restrictive trade practices of 1969 and Competition Act 2002. I'm sorry that. So the main purpose is to prevent and punish anti-competitive business practice by firms and unnecessary government interference in the market. Unnecessary government interference in the market, or we may say that unnecessary government interference in the competition procedure. Unnecessary politician intervention in the Competition Act. Competition law is quite similar and relevant on the means of compounds as well as oral agreement arrangement between the enterprise or the persons. Here, achieving excellence in market dynamics through competition enhances the fair competition, and it introduces and launched the Act and Trade Practice Act, and it also mentions that unnecessary intervention, government, and interference on the competition procedure, which we are still facing that, as written in the Constitution, that you all have freedom to express and freedom to write and freedom to appear or freedom to compete in any examinations, including the highest one, Union Public Service Commission, Staff Selection Commission, banking, and any other Group A, Group B, Group C, and Group D examinations, and state level Public Service Commission. So there should be fair competition, and there should be fair competition according to the Competition Act 2002. I hope that everything is clear enough, and at the same time, if there is any doubts or unclear, please don't be hesitant in asking me. I mean that please be feel free to ask. I always welcome about the feedbacks. So feedbacks instantly gave me that enthusiastic and inspiration and really inspire me to get you back, right? So concept and compliances. It's very simple what concept and compliances. Concept and compliances here it's demystifying the comparison implications of abuse of dominance. Abuse of dominance. Those who are in dominant position or situation took advantage of their status with using their status and their position that they use their power in unfair practices and unfair means. That's very deep, wrong side and wrong practice. As mentioned in the Compassion Act 2002, and it's implemented that to prevent that abuse of dominance along with to protect the consumer interests, ensuring fair trade by Indian enterprises or a group of enterprises. This act means Compassion Act 2002. This act has incorporated that uh, paradigm shift in regulatory structure from the central government to an independent compassion commission of India. As I told you that I will tell you at the later section. So CCI simply implies that the full form that Compassion Commission of India. This is an authority body and at the same time they are advisory body in case of any kinds of compassion, any kinds of government job and public sector undertakings and private sector undertakings, they influence and they implied and their impact and significance is quite emphasizable. So the Compassion Commission of India mentioned that dominance is not inherently evil, it's not actually evil from the very beginning in the sense that but each abuse is outlawed by the Compassion Act 2002. So all we have discussed like promoting compassion through empowering consumers that through the Compassion Commission of India and the game changing contribution to the marketplace. And like we have earlier said and discussed about that the Compassion Amendment Act 2020, which was which is introduced in this year, in this very year, power, penalties, and perplexity and proposal, as we already mentioned and we already discussed about and learned together about this, that they promote fair and enough competition in India regarding examinations like competitive examinations, which we've mentioned already at the thumbnail and at this very topic also. That's the highest one: UPSC, SSC, and NDA, Naval Academy, and CDS Combined Defense Service, and banking from probationary officer to clerical grade, maybe Group D. And in case of SSC, like the lowest one, MTS, multitasking services, and all. So there should be free, fair enough, and competition. Those competitors must have an equal chance of getting through the examinations and getting at the top level if they are fit enough and if they are brilliant enough and if they are bright enough. No races and no wrong practices is allowed. And achieving excellence in market dynamics through competition, that one also you have already discussed that. And the final one is concept and compliance, which right now, just now, we have done. The implications is abuse of dominance, or we may also call that authority power, dominance power, using unfair practices through their situation or their dominant situation. So it's a wrongful act and it must be abolished from this compassion Commission of India. And the main objective of their enactment is that promoting the fair competition and equality in competition regarding any types of examinations. So that's all for today, and that's all for this time. We have been discussed a lot, like, let me repeat once again, like promoting compassion and empowering the consumers, like the competitor, through the CCI, Compassion Commission of India, and its game-changing contribution to the marketplace, to the examination place, or to the competition field, and demystifying the competition implications, abusing their dominance power, abusing their authority power by influencing or by impacting, or the significance or the consequences very wrongful, and Compassion Amendment Act 2023, which we are still using and introduce in this very year to promote the right, fair competition in India for all types of examinations from the highest level to the lowest level, and achieving excellence in market dynamics through competitions. So that's all for this time. Let me repeat once again that please do follow my channel, and if you are not subscribed my channel, please do subscribe and like it and share it and give me a feedback, and please be feel free to express any doubts, any unclear or any questions or any topics you want me to discuss regarding examinations and to get through any kinds of examinations. So please don't hesitate in any way. Thank you so much for having this valuable time with you all. So see you next time. Thank you so much. Have a nice time.